We just listened to a channeling that was about monks bowing in service to a godhead, and you were triggered with lifetimes of nunneries. Where are you feeling that in your body?
I think around the ribs.
And what's
a bit in the head.
And what's the emotion?
Sort of grief.
Yep. Even though I feel this sadness and grief.
Even though I feel this sadness and grief.
Around my ribs and middle.
Around my ribs and middle.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And all those lifetimes of being a nun.
And all those lifetimes of being a nun.
All the grief and sadness.
All the grief and sadness.
All the burden.
All the...
Is that right? The burden?
I don't know, there's a...
That's just what came to mind for me.
Yeah.
But what is it for you?
It's like a futility.
That feeling of futility.
That feeling of futility and emptiness.
All that emptiness.
All that emptiness.
Trapped in the multi-dimensional layers of my body.
Trapped in the multi-dimensional layers of my body.
That I can still feel now.
That I can still feel now. Right down my back.
Right down my back. I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And all these feelings.
And all these feelings.
And I instruct my Akash.
And I instruct my Akash.
All the multi-dimensional layers of my DNA.
All the multi-dimensional layers of my DNA.
And my 3D DNA.
And my 3D DNA.
That's tuning into it.
That's tuning into it.
To release it and let it go.
To release it and let it go.
All the way back to all those lifetimes.
All the way back to all those lifetimes.
When I was a nun.
When I was a nun.
Or a monk.
Or a monk.
In those monasteries and nunneries.
In those monasteries and nunneries.
Releasing it and letting it go.
Releasing it and letting it go.
That grief and sadness.
The grief and sadness.
The futility of it all.
The futility of it all.
That my body has remembered.
That my body has remembered. And the emptiness.
That emptiness down my spine.
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 So I'm getting the word spineless. Does that land on you? That emptiness down my spine?
Not quite, but it could be. That emptiness down my spine.
That feeling of futility.
That feeling of futility.
All those lifetimes as a nun.
All those lifetimes as a nun.
All those lifetimes in service to others.
All those lifetimes in service to others.
Where was I in service to myself?
Where was I in service to myself?
Giving service away to others.
Giving service away to others, and there's something about can't get it, doesn't matter.
That feeling of futility.
That feeling of futility.
That emptiness in my spine.
In my spine.
Giving all my energy to others.
Giving all, it's not even that. Yes, it is that. It is that.
In service to others.
In service to others, but it's like, I don't know, just this massive emptiness.
All this emptiness.
All this emptiness.
I want to fill the emptiness.
I want to fill the emptiness.
What do you want to fill the emptiness with? Filling the emptiness with love. Filling the emptiness with love. All the love that I was giving away to others. I want to fill my emptiness with love. What colour is that love that you want to fill the body with? My body needs love. Keep tapping. My body needs love. Filling my body with love in all those lifetimes. Sending all those lifetimes love into the multi-dimensional layers of my DNA. The highest form of love.
Multi-dimensional layers of my DNA.
All those lifetimes.
All those lifetimes.
Including this one.
Including this one.
Where I need the emptiness filled.
Where I need the emptiness filled.
With love.
With love.
The highest love.
The highest love.
Self-fulfilling love.
Self-fulfilling love.
That fills self with love.
That fills self with love.
That beautiful feeling of love.
That beautiful feeling of love.
Like my cup runneth over.
Like my cup runneth over.
I was always giving love away.
I was always giving love away constantly.
And now I choose to fill myself up with love.
And now I choose to fill myself up with love.
In every lifetime where I needed it.
In every lifetime where I needed it.
Including this one.
Including this one.
That feeling of love.
That feeling of love.
That never-ending supply of love.
That never-ending supply of love.
Connection to higher source.
Connection to higher source.
My cup runneth over love.
My cup runneth over love.
Where
Not just
I'm
an
never-
intellectual love.
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love.
Nurturing love.
Nurturing love.
Filling the emptiness.
Filling the emptiness.
In every lifetime.
In every lifetime.
Including this one.
Including this one.
Feeling that feeling of my cup runneth over type love.
Feeling that feeling of my cup runneth over type love. Even though I've forgotten what that's like from lifetimes ago.
What colour is it?
I think it's a purpley one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be ruby red.
Okay, ruby red. Let's go with ruby red then.
It's either that or soul, I'm not sure.
Well, let's do both. Our cup runneth over, we have plenty. Let's get you at both angles. Oh, it smells good together. Oh, that smells good. You can all have some later.
Oh,
Filling that emptiness
filling that emptiness.
in every lifetime
In every lifetime.
with that beautiful smell and colour,
With that beautiful smell and colour.
that highest form of love,
That highest form of love.
dissolving away the emptiness,
Dissolving away the emptiness.
allowing me to feel self-fulfilled,
Allowing me to feel self-fulfilled.
that loving, nurturing love,
That loving, nurturing love.
that ever-flowing love.
I'm not sure I know how to feel it.
Even though I'm not sure how to feel it.
Even though I'm not sure how to feel it because I don't know it very well.
I don't-
Some part of me does, but the other part doesn't.
I'm open to receiving it anyhow.
I'm open to receiving it anyhow.
Opening up that emptiness.
Opening up that emptiness.
I'm an empty vessel to be filled.
I'm an empty vessel to be filled.
And even though I don't know what it feels like to be filled,
And even though I don't know what it feels like to be filled,
because I'm an empty vessel, I can be filled.
because I'm an empty vessel, I can be filled.
Allowing that empty vessel to be filled with love.
Allowing that empty vessel to be filled with love.
That nurturing, ever-flowing love.
That nurturing, ever-flowing love.
Dissolving the blocks to receiving it.
Dissolving the blocks to receiving it.
I thought I had to give it away all the time.
I thought I had to give it away all the time.
It was a sin to keep it.
It was a sin to keep it.
It was a sin to receive it.
It was a sin to receive it.
But I released that sin
No, I released that so-called sin
that I was taught back then,
that I was taught back then and carried with me for so many lifetimes,
including this one.
including this one.
I released that word sin.
I release that word sin.
I release all the blockages
I release all the blockages
that now allow me
that now allow me
to receive
to receive
that unconditional flow of love.
that unconditional flow of love.
I blocked it with the word and concept of sin,
I blocked it with the word and concept of sin,
that it was sinful to receive,
that it was sinful to receive,
that I had to give
that I had to give
and not receive.
and not receive.
And now I see
And now I see
and know
and know
that it's important to receive
that it's important to receive
and always receive,
and always receive,
to be able to give.
to be able to give.
It's a figure of 8.
It's a figure of 8.
It's an energetic figure of 8 of giving and receiving.
It's an energetic figure of 8, giving and receiving.
And it never
And
stops.
And it never stops.
And I'm never empty.
And I'm never empty.
It's a flow of giving and receiving.
It's a flow of giving and receiving.
And I choose to be in the flow of that.
And I choose to be in the flow of that.
And I let the multidimensional layers of my DNA know that.
And I let the multidimensional layers of my DNA know that.
And I send that knowledge all the way back to my lifetimes as a nun.
And I send that knowledge all the way back through my lifetimes of being a nun.
And every lifetime where I couldn't receive.
And every lifetime where I couldn't receive.
Allowing that higher knowledge.
Allowing that higher knowledge.
That giving and receiving is one action.
That giving and receiving is one action.
One flow, one figure of 8.
One flow, one figure of 8. Can I ask a question that's coming up?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's deeply tied in with this particular thing, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about the line about standing in the passageways
Mm-hmm.
and not stepping forward that just really, really
Mm-hmm.
gets me.
Mm-hmm. So can you see it, feel it? Where do you feel it? Gut, high neck, upper gut. Mm-hmm. That feeling of standing in line. Even though I've got that feeling of standing in line in the hallway.
It's not standing in line, I'm just alone in the hallway. And it's
alone in
like,
the
there's something there about, because I used to be really loud and really out there and then I've come back,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, I find I can't push myself forward.
Mm-hmm. That feeling,
That feeling.
like Maria in The Sound of Music.
Maria and the Sound of Music.
Where she was really loud and out there, and now she has to stand quietly in the hallway.
Oh yes, she was really loud and out there and now she has to stand quietly in the hallway.
And weren't you singing that before? Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
I have to pull myself back.
I have to pull myself back. Yeah, I've got to hide in the hallway.
I have to hide in the hallway.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Who told you that? Mother Superior?
Yeah, probably.
I can't be so loud and out there.
Well, I just make a fool of myself if I do.
I make a fool of myself.
I make a fool of myself if I do.
That feeling that I make a fool of myself if I'm loud and out there.
That feeling of, oh boy, that's so true. That I make a fool of myself if I'm loud and out there.
I release it and let it go.
And I release it and let it go.
That belief
That belief
that I created back there
that I created back there
in that lifetime.
in that lifetime.
I release it and let it go.
I release it and let it go.
It no longer serves me.
It no longer serves me.
It may have served me then,
It may have served me then.
but it no longer serves me now.
That's when I became a comic. But it no longer serves me now.
That feeling
That feeling
and that belief
and that belief
that I created back then.
that I created back then.
That if I stand out,
That if I stand out,
I'll make a fool of myself.
I'll make a fool of myself.
I have to be quiet in the shadows.
Yeah, I've either got to be a comic fool or I've got to be quiet in the shadows. And it got painful being a comic fool, so then I retired to the shadows.
Letting that me back then know
Letting that me back then know
that that's not the only belief and choice I have.
that that's not the only belief and choice I have.
And I choose to release it now.
And I choose to release it now.
With that beautiful purple and maroon, ruby red. See that?
Oh yeah.
Ruby red. And soul. Releasing it all the way back
Releasing it all the way back
to all those lifetimes.
to all those lifetimes.
Especially that lifetime.
Especially that lifetime. I can see him
When I was standing in the hallway.
when I was standing hiding in the hallway
Because I'd only made a fool of myself.
because I'd only made a fool of myself and it was too painful to go out again.
It was too painful to go out again.
So I made a decision to hide in the hallways. And I've only had two modes of operating. One's been a buffoon and the other one's hiding in the hallways.
I've practiced this pattern for many lifetimes.
I've practiced this pattern for many lifetimes.
And I'm an expert at it now.
And I'm an expert at it.
Especially in this life.
Especially in this life.
And I instruct my DNA
And I instruct my DNA
and this soul level pattern
And this soul level pattern.
That no longer suits me.
That no longer suits me.
And what I've learned I can unlearn.
And what I've learned I can unlearn.
And I choose to step through that pattern.
And I choose to step through that pattern.
In this current DNA.
In this current DNA.
And through all the multidimensional layers of DNA.
And through all the multidimensional layers of DNA.
Dissolving it all the way back to its origin.
Dissolving it all the way back to its origin.
In that lifetime.
In that lifetime.
And every lifetime.
And every lifetime.
Sending him those 2 colours in the hallway.
Sending him those 2 colours in the hallway. Oh, he's so grateful. He is so grateful.
Stepping into that hallway, me now.
Stepping into that hallway, me now.
Telling him I'm him from the future.
Telling him, I'm you from the future.
And you no longer need that.
And you no longer need that.
And I'm here to release you from that pattern.
And I'm here to release you from that pattern. Oh, he's crying and hugging me.
Mm-hmm. Does he need more colour?
Yeah, that one.
Sending him the ruby red.
Sending him the ruby red.
And filling him with love.
And filling him with love.
Unconditional. Filling him with love.
Filling him with love. Unconditional.
Telling him that loving is about giving and receiving.
Love is about giving and receiving, and you're allowed to receive.
Filling his empty vessel.
Filling your empty vessel
with love.
With love.
And bringing that feeling into my DNA now.
And bringing that feeling into my DNA now.
And every lifetime I ever needed it.
And every lifetime I ever needed it.
And all the way out into the future.
And all the way out into the future.
I choose to always feel fulfilled with love.
I choose to always feel fulfilled with love.
I'm open to receiving as I give.
I'm open to receiving as I give.
I'm open to giving as I receive.
I'm open to giving as I receive. And I'm open to walking out there and being who I am, okay.
Mm-hmm. Seeing him walking out there.
Seeing him walking out there. Oh, wow, yep.
Being okay.
Being okay. He's just walking out in front of the others, and he's played the fool, and then he's hidden, and now he's just walking out with complete dignity, and he's just going past them, going by.
Seeing that dignity.
Seeing that dignity.
Feeling that dignity.
Feeling that dignity.
In every part of my DNA.
In every part of my DNA.
The multidimensional parts.
The multidimensional parts.
And the 3D parts.
And the 3D parts.
Bringing that and activating it into me now.
Bringing that and activating it into me now.
And taking it out into the future.
And taking it out into the future.
What colour is dignity? I'm not sure. Actually, I think it's that one. Earth. Grounded and earthed now. That dignity of being connected, grounded and earthed.
That dignity of being connected, grounded and earthed. And he is in a very brown... Yeah. That dignity of being connected, grounded and earthed. Beautiful.
Completely in his body.
Completely, and he is completely in his body. And he just did a little kick saying that he can play the fool if he needs to, but it's for entertainment.
And not as a fool.
Yes, and not as a defence mechanism.
Cool. I like that.
Thank you.
So let me just read. Oh, Ruby Red's a new one, so I need to get that out. Ruby Red, you went straight for that one.
Yep. Ruby
Red, jewel-like and rich, this essence offers us the feeling of being deeply settled in our bodies. It's both calming and restorative, centering us and bringing feelings of peace and stability. At the same time, it's a powerful agent for change and helps us to embrace change in our lives with ease and grace. Ruby red energizes the electromagnetic pathways within and around our bodies, opening our channels for deeper connection with Source. It's also a powerful support for clearing ancestral patterns and inherited issues. And soul. Soul essence is to help you reconnect to your spirit. And it's a connector re-establishing your link to your higher self so you can break free of limiting patterns and limited viewpoints that keep you from experiencing true body freedom. And Earth is... Where's Earth? Okay, Earth. Copper. Earth. Oh, that's really there. Earth, get grounded. Copper, Earth elemental, acknowledges that you are a light being having a human physical experience. We are meant to explore our spirituality and to be in the material world simultaneously. The one cannot be experienced without the other. You've been through a period of personal transformation and getting to know the new you emerging from the rebirth experience and beginning to balance your spirit and matter. To help you get grounded, pay attention to your material world. What nourishment and care does your body need right now? Do you need to ask for help with your finances? Are your relationships the way you want them to be? Is your house, car or office in need of decluttering and repair? Take action and arrange your material world so that it feels organised and in support of you. Your outside world is a reflection of your inner world. Ensure that your material world truly reflects the new, lighter, shinier you.
Well, you know the journey I've been on in the last 4 years, but it's interesting because it's like all my life I felt like I'm the spiritual being and the body's just been, you know, the vehicle. But I think the journey is to get to exactly this point for me right now.
Of course it is. That's why you're here, my dear.